Hello, I am Kiran Tanwani, currently pursuing first year BTech at Marwari University under the Department of Information and Communication Technology. This is the project under the subjects Digital Electronics and Object-Oriented Programs. So, my topic on this project is K-map solver using Java frames. As I said Java frames, that is why it comes under object-oriented programming, and the K-map topic comes under digital electronics. So, it's a combination of both. In this project, I am guided by Mr. C.D. Parmar, our head of department, and Mr. Kumar Anand Singh, the assistant professor at Marwari University. So, what are K-maps? K-maps stands for Carnot maps. These are used to explain or reduce Boolean functions. So there are basically two ways in which you can reduce a Boolean equation. One of them is the K-map, which we will use, and the other one is the algebraic method in which we use the identities. So, if in a K-map we want to evaluate a Boolean expression of two variables, so we will have cells having 4. So, the equation if contains m variables, the cells in the K-map will be 2 raised to m. As you see, for 2 variables, it's 4, 2 raised to 2. Now, in a K-map, the basic fundamental rule is that every adjacent row and column should differ by one logic variable only. And as I already told you, it's a graphical representative method. As you can see now on the screen, there are two examples of a 4-variable K-map. As you can see, it's a 4-variable K-map. So the number of cells are 16, 4 in row, 4 in column. The two examples are, as you see, one shows with the pairings of 1 and the other shows the pairing of zeros. Now, as you can see, there are different colored lines. I'll tell you why. As in a K-map, if we have 8 ones or 8 zeros together, it forms an octet. As there are 4 zeros or 4 ones, it's called the quadrant, which is a blue line in this. And if there are 2 zeros and 2 ones together, it is a pair, and the remaining are the singlets. So my project is that I have designed a system for solving 4-variable K-maps, and it is with the help of Java and its graphical user interface, that is its frames. Now, what is OOP as I have been saying it till now? OOP is basically a programming language that concentrates only on the object rather than anything else. The main concern of this programming language is the object. That is why it makes it more real mimic to the real world. And also it has classes which are self-contained and can be reusable. So now this is the introduction of my project. From now we'll go to a tour with what are my frames and what they look like. This is the introductory frame. As you can see, it contains the details of my project and the topic. Next is the details about Carnot map. As you can see, I've used images and buttons as well. Next is the input taker. So I have used text fields and text boxes. I have used numbers and labels to make this frame. This frame contains a random button. As you want, you can click on the random button if you are too lazy to type the 16 inputs. If you go next, see, there are some error messages also. Now, as you know, people tend to make mistakes or they intentionally make mistakes to check the function. So, I have used the JPanel option in the frames to check the errors. For now, as you know, in K-maps, you cannot include any alphabets as the input. The input should be either 0 or 1. So, if you add input any random number or other alphabets, the error pop-up comes out, enter either 0 or 1 only, which will not let you proceed further unless and until you enter 0 or 1. Next error we see is enter values. What is this error? This error is generated when you click on the next button without entering any of the values in the given text fields. The K-map can be solved if and only if we have values for it. Next is the solution page. As you can see, in this we have an octet as I was talking about. The octet is of 8. So it makes an octet here and the solution is A bar. Here we have a try again button. If you want, you can do the solution again. Last is my thank you page. So last is my thank you page. Now I will take you to the real working of these frames. Let's go. So now here we are in the IntelliJ IDE which I have used for the coding of my frames. So now let's begin with the first frame. So this is my first frame with an enter and an exit button. So let's enter. Here are the details of the Carnot map. I have used images and the buttons. We go to next. So here is our, now we have to enter the midterms. So if you're too lazy, as I said, we can go with the random buttons. I clicked on the random buttons. As you can see, I have different positions of zeros and ones now. So let's click on next. And here you see we have the solutions. See, there are pairs, octets. See, this is the octet making solution, pairs and its solutions, and the other pairs and its solutions. Let's try again. This time we will enter the input. So now let's enter the input. As for one position, there should be either 0 or 1, not the other elements. So now I will enter more than 2. So here it comes the error. So now here we are in the input taker frame. As you can see, I have used text boxes and random button to click to generate random values if you want. So let's start with that. I clicked on a random button. As I click more, the values will change. As you can see, they are changing. So now let's get the solution. So here you see I have pairs and singlets of ones. So here are the solutions with the pairs. Now let's try again. So now let's enter values manually. If I enter more values, it says enter either 0 or 1. If I enter any alphabet, it again says enter either 0 or 1 only. Now, if I click on the next button without entering any of the values, it will again show an error. See, it shows an error, enter values. So now, let's enter the values manually. So let's try these. And as you see, here's the output. There is also again a octet formation. So the answer for this octet is C bar. So now you can see these values. I've clicked on exit button. Here is my thank you frame. So thank you guys for being such a patient audience. This is my email ID Kiran Tanwani 10551@marwadiuniversity.ac.in. For any inquiries about this topic in Java, you can contact me using these IDs. Thank you.